bet you've been a good little bad boy this year. Unfortunately, Harley and I are still on the naughty list.
Welcome to Flashback Generation. I want to ask you, is there anything as scary as a ginger with no social skills or charisma? Hey! Oh, lucky for us, I'm not talking about Pete here. I am, of course, talking about the master of all plants and manipulator of mind control. This episode is all about Ivy and her poison over Gotham.
And shame I'm not as good looking as her either.
It is a shame. It's a shame for us all.
That feels so much better.
We're going to start off with the leaders of Ivy Gang, which is Poison Ivy. It's the cheaper one first. We're going for the newer release, the comic Ivy, the one that looks awesome actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely beautiful, stunning model. If you're going to choose a model to buy for Batman, you're probably going to buy that.
Yeah, I tend to use her even if I'm using the other one.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing what they did. So stat-wise, we'll just run through that. So strength 4, so it's good human strength. Movement 4, which is incredible, to be honest. Attack 3, which is a bit lame. Defense 4, decent. Endurance 7, which is okay-ish, I guess. And willpower 7, so our willpower is the same as Harvey Dent's and a few other leaders that are on the lesser side of leaders.
And special 3 as well.
Oh, special 3, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Most important trait.
Yeah, well, she's got scientific, so...
special 4.
So she's got 4 special, but, so you can see that her stats are nothing special. But what would you expect from a useless woman?
Yeah, well, strength 4 and she's not so useless.
Yeah, okay. You know what, so she's just whatever. You expect these kind of traits from she's not a really aggressive character in the film, so it's alright. But, she's got a lot of things that make up for her to be who she is. So let's start running through why she is. So her weapon, she's got toxic nails. So she has a blood stun. She's basically got claws with a crit paralyze. But they got handy on them as well, so she's actually, what has she got? She's got like Wolverine claws here or something.
Yeah, so what's handy, it's the reroll to hit,
Reroll to hit, so she's rerolling to hit everything with these claws with crit paralyze, so she's potentially going to do a lot of damage. The paralyze is you can't do anything basically.
Yeah. When you look at most characters of, average is defense 3 or 4, you're going to be hitting... with them rerolls, then you've got the strength of 4+. They're definitely gonna.
She can do it. I think her problem is she's attack 3. If your opponent's looking at you going, you're attack 3, that's easy. Whatever. I'll set aside 3 dice. And if you got a halfway decent defense, she's not gonna. She may not hit them, and then they're all blocked. So and then you've got your leader next to someone who's potentially going to batter you.
I would prefer attack 4 for this character, but then if you did that, I would want it to be willpower 8. But then, I'm trying to break the game here.
Yeah, I want.
Yeah.
Wish listing is everything. I think it's okay. When they said attack 3, I felt like, oh yeah, that sounds a bit right. None of the female characters are especially strong or whatever, and they all have a lot of fall downs, and this is definitely hers. So what other traits has she got? She's got elite boss plants, so she can take as many plants as she likes, as long as they're...
Well, there's a limit that...
Within reason, obviously within the rules.
You can take 3 per so many points.
Yeah. So, but the plants we'll come on to later, and you can judge them for yourself. Next, we were starting on scientific, so we'll finish now. You also give away an extra VP when you lose.
Yeah.
So it's not all good. That's all it does though. Special 4. She's got confusion.
Yeah.
Confusion is you get to redo people's counters.
Yeah, I think you see this mostly on Classic Riddler.
Yes, there's a redo. There's a 2 counters.
Yeah, you get to move 2 of them out.
I like it actually. I like it a lot. I think it's pretty cost 2 special. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm a great one for control and manipulation. Hence why I play Ivy. And for this, being able to move someone's markers around, it's just it just feels right.
Extremely strong if you're playing against people with guns.
Yeah.
And you decide, I'm going to go, that person who's going to shoot me, no, they're not.
Yeah.
And you've put them, all of their confusion counters are now sitting in movement or defense or something that you don't care about. That guy in the building is now absolutely useless, out of the game for the turn. So confusion is actually a very strong trait. Likewise, someone who's going to defend extremely hard or they're going to attack you extremely hard, you get rid of this, there's no threat left.
Yeah.
So she's good at neutralizing that. It's got a range. I think it's line of sight. This is all guesswork. We're not liable for any mistakes here. So let's go on. Acrobat, so she can dodge bullets.
Yeah.
She's good at that, I guess. She's got movement 4, so she's very good at that.
Yeah, and acrobat as well. Doesn't it allow you to move over objects as well? No penalty.
No comment.
Yeah, okay.
It did used to, or there's to some avail. The wording's all a little different. What is it?
Yeah.
You can stand up for free. You don't have to spend counters to do things.
Yeah.
It was the half movement that's changed.
Yeah, that's it.
Difficult terrain used to be in there as well, but that's gone, which is good. So now it's you don't spend anything to stand up, but you still suffer from half movements and whatever.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
And my favourite of her though is definitely this one, Control Pheromones. For 3 SC, you get to choose someone within 10 centimetres of you. They have to take a willpower test. If they fail it, they become under your control until the end of their next activation. That's just brilliant. I use this all the time.
Yes, he does. It's horrible. It's horrible because she's endurance 7. Even if you think you've got her, you don't have her.
Yeah.
You don't have her at all. You just think you have her.
That manipulation of the guy with the shotgun or the guy with the machine gun or that any of them really, that you can just then, it just feels very apt getting your guys or getting the opponent's guys to turn on their own people because Ivy's manipulated them.
This one can't do that.
What?
This one doesn't do that.
Control Pheromones.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the one that she teleports?
That's Crawlchronesis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ding. Oh, fail. All right. This control pheromones. How many is that? 3 special.
3 special.
3 special do that. So she can't actually do control pheromones and confusion in the same turn.
No.
Because that will need 5. So she could tighten up and do the 5.
Yeah.
But that's a big ask. Otherwise, control pheromones. That's a willpower test and
willpower test, and you take control of them.
You know what? I've seen that used effectively. You run up and you use it on someone. They've turned against everyone, and it's a gun guy, and then they're taking shots on people, on their own guys. Very effective.
Yeah.
Obviously that's exactly what it's meant to do.
Or you get it on that high security henchman that has got the back claw. You get them to back claw up to something, and then you get them to walk off the end of the building. Brilliant way of getting rid of them.
Didn't I think I heard somewhere that you're not allowed suicide people anymore. I don't know. This sounds like hearsay. The rumours this week are, I don't know. Walking off buildings, that could be true.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of comments on this.
Yeah. You moan at him. He accepts it. So she got a special trait, poison immunity. So you can't poison her.
Really? Can't poison Ivy?
Yeah. Well,
wow.
She's got a lot of. There's actually not a lot of poison in the game, so
yeah, she has most of it.
Yeah, it feels like whatever. Don't care. She is 83 rep.
Yeah. Now compared to the other one, she's a little bit cheaper. Means that you're probably getting that extra plant or the extra henchman in there. They both got their different ways of playing. That's the important thing to specify here.
Well, let's talk about the other one now then, so then you can judge for yourself.
So next we're going to talk about Ivy, or Arkham Ivy rather. Strength 5, movement 3, attack 3, defense 4, endurance 8, special 4 rather, and willpower 8.
So, compared to the other one we just talked about, you can see that her movement, she's dropped her movement, she's dropped a strength, and she's raised an endurance. So, and she's gone up a mighty willpower, which is massive as well. So, you can already see that in her characteristics, they're quite a lot different.
Yeah, it's apples on oranges, and both of them have 2 distinct play styles, which is brilliant because for such a small gang, you've got multiple different ways to play the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think that a lot of gangs need this same sort of setup. They don't need the one boss, and definitely follow suit in this kind of thing. That you got one boss that does this or one boss that does this completely differently.
So she's not as hard-hitting, but she's more survivable, and she's got that extra willpower, which for me is critical.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree. And let's talk about what is different in the other side of her card.
Yeah, so the big thing about her initially is her weapon. This is Sprinkling Spores. It's rate of fire 1, it's ammo infinite, it's got special poison, and this is toxic blood, and it's expansive. It's also got the new rule, gas.
It's bent.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll put her there, and then everyone's hit. So it's people funneling all their troops down. You're all hit in a row. Everyone just takes the blood automatically, unless you've got the gas rule. Gas mask rule. Yeah. In which case you're immune to it. So there's a slight counter to it, but it's not really enough. This breath weapon is just crazy good.
Oh yeah, I love this Ivy for this weapon. There are a couple of other rules about it, but this is what sets her apart. She's the flamethrower of this gang. She just jumps around. She just sets everyone with poison, which so when they've got toxic blood and are hit with this, they automatically take 1 wound. That then puts a poison counter next to them. At the start of their next activation, they then have to take an endurance test. If they fail that, they take an additional blood and the poison counter stays there for a following turn. With henchmen, with low endurance, these guys will end up dying to this over the following turns.
They just fall over.
Yeah.
They do, yeah. I'm 4 turns later. And it's quick. It's actually not 4 turns because they probably take another one the turn after it.
Yeah.
And then, before you know it, they've all dropped willpower. They're
dropping
counters. That they've all got a turn left or something. It just feels like these guys are just going to die quickly.
Yeah, I feel bad using this against people.
It's horrendous.
It's great. There's no roll to hit. There's no roll to wound. It just does stuff.
Just take wounds. Yeah. So then you've got 8 willpower. What are you going to do with the rest of it?
Well, yeah.
Let's talk about her other things then.
So she's got scientific, which means that she can put one of them willpower into an extra special. So
she's got the same scientific rule. She's got affinity to Bane and Penguin.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a strange one, that one, actually. I always felt. So she can drop into their gangs as free agents. Yeah,
I'm not sure why the Penguin. I can't think of anywhere in the fluff. Please let me know if you can. But Bane, obviously, from that movie that had. That movie we won't talk about.
I still don't think that they should be blending in. Because in this stupid movie, this is isn't this meant to be Arkham City Ivy? So.
It is, yeah. So you could argue that she has affinity with Batman in that case because she ended up doing a lot of work with him.
Well, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa!
What just happened, man? They cut the power.
All right.
So yes, elite boss plans.
Yeah. Where were we? Elite boss plans.
I think so.
So as we know that they can take all plants that you want within legal limits.
Yeah.
Okay, and in her special traits. Poison immunity. Hey, we haven't.
Really, poison ivy having immunity to poison. Okay.
Yeah. Skip.
Yeah. So chlorokinesis. Now, this is the other reason why I take this model. It just makes her bent. Is probably the best word to describe her.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was what, jumping the gun the last time, yeah?
Yes. So this is the one that you meant before.
Yeah.
So for one special counter, once per round, Poison Ivy may be placed from one point inside of an action zone of a plant to another point of the same action zone. So, allows you to pick up the model and then place it down. And this is with plants that all plants have got a 10 centimeter range or a 10 centimeter action zone. So it's anywhere around there.
In that radius,
yeah. Which effectively gives her an extra move that can be done after or before movement.
And it doesn't matter about elevation, terrain.
Yeah.
This is a teleport.
Yes.
That's the harsh part.
So, my typical tactic, I know we're not talking them here, but I will just run it down here, is that I get her in, I run her in, I flame people with the spores, and make sure that she's within that plant's range to get her out behind a wall, into a building, anything just to get her out of the combat after she's done the damage. Works a treat every time.
Yeah, then your opponent's going, hey, I can't even touch her now. Then next turn he can do the same thing. Well, he put her in and then the opponent's in the wrong place or whatever. It's just, there's so many options with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so after that then is Mortal Kiss. So, it's for a measly 2 specials. However, you kind of have to build up to this because basically, if Poison Ivy succeeds as a grab action against a character, remove that target character as a casualty. Now, what you have to do for a grab action is it's 1 attack and 1 special, okay, and you have to actually hit with it.
Mm-hmm.
So with her strength, with her wound, sorry. With a strength 5, that can be quite hard to get off.
It is.
But
There's no rerolls in there either.
It can pay off big time.
I found that the best way you can try and use this is if you know that you're going to go first and someone's on the ground, you're hitting them on 2s. If you put 3 attacks in there, they have no defense. You know, then you've suddenly got 3 dice trying to roll a 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really tasty. So it should be said, large characters are immune to this because they're immune to grab. So she can't kiss them.
Well, you know, Killer Croc's not going to get the love, is he?
No. Where would you even start to kiss them?
However, this would never happen. You would never be able to get this off, right?
I've never seen it.
No.
Except.
Oh, the Queen, right?
Except that one time.
Yeah. Our first game.
Our first game, he took down Green Arrow with it, and I just was like, I cannot believe this.
Yeah. So really, you'd be needing 3 specials to actually pull this off, plus everything else in the right place, plus good dice rolls. For me, it's quite a high bet but high reward. For me, I'd like to play the safe man. I'd be putting the specials into more other stuff, such as being pulling off the control pheromones, such as doing the chlorokinesis. That's where I'd put my.
She's you play her as a support character, but as an absolutely lethal one.
Yeah.
I should note as well that the spores, when you're using that expansion template, you still have to abide by the shooting rules, so you still have to be more than 5 away.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. I mean, it's such a big template, and she's so dynamic with her movement anyway.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
Yeah. But this one feels like she needs plants more than the other one.
Certainly. I think the other one, in the future, you never know. In the future, maybe the other one will benefit more depending on which way the plants are coming out. You know, if plants wave 2 comes out and they've got other things, or I've heard a rumour of a plant sidekick.
We'll come on to that anyway later on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. That'll be in the future a bit. But anyway, let's talk about sidekicks now. Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Here we have the most expensive sidekick in the game. It is Alec Holland, who is Swamp Thing. He is a monster.
Yeah.
Literally.
How did he even end up in this list? Is it because of some sort of Neil Gaiman crossover?
He's been involved in Batman plenty of times, so this is
with
ideal.
Ivy?
This is ideal. It really is. So what does Swamp Thing do? Let's have a run through his stats. So he's got strength 2+. That's you can't get better than that. Movement 2, you can get better than that. Attack 4, that's all right. Defense 3, which is probably a little bit of a low point. Endurance 11. Ding ding ding. 11.
Yeah.
Like that is just super high. No one else is near it. Oh, you got Grundy and stuff, but 11.
Yeah.
That's just so hard to actually put in with his traits as well. Let's go run through his traits and see how hard he is with that. And willpower 8.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of willpower, a lot of endurance, a lot of hurt, and a lot of attack.
Special 3, but he's got scientific, so let's just cut that one out straight away and say 4.
4, yeah. So your opponent's getting the extra points as well if they kill him, depending on what he is. So he's got spikes. So these were the first reload weapon that was actually introduced to the game. That means if you shoot it, then he can't shoot it in the next turn because he's spending it reloading it. It's got throwing and short range. So throwing is the old I can move, but I don't drop my rate of fire. Their damage double stun. So this is a rate of fire 2, ammo 2. So it's it's good because he's a large creature. So he's movement 12, but so you can run him 24 and then still shoot it. I've used this guy a lot of times, and I found he's very effective actually at, when people try to run away from him, that's when you grab them with that.
Yeah, I'd be thinking that every other turn I'd be doing the shooting, but every turn in between I'd be in combat with him.
Oh, absolutely. You're trying to be in combat as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because this guy's got reach with the altered limb, so it's always worth him being, more not in base-to-base contact and hitting things, because then it's up to your opponent to actually have to move into him to engage, which is very annoying. And once this guy starts hitting you, he does hurt. He is a blood and a stun.
Yeah.
I did find that his problem is he is attack 4 and he has no handy. So you can defend against him.
Yeah. So, but with strength 2+, as long as you hit, you're going to be wounded.
If you're hitting him, he's the same as a fire eye.
Yeah.
So he is deadly. You can't let him hit you. That's the thing. So if he's around you, your opponents you'll find have a stack of defense tokens ready. And he is so hard to wound as well. Why? He has tough skin. So Killer Croc's the only other creature or a character with this. So tough skin is the ability where you go to wound him and you're -1 to wound as well.
Yeah.
So this includes any modifiers as well. So bullets and mechanic, anything that's wounding is -1. So
Yeah, well, you're going to try and save, hits going into that endurance 11, aren't you?
endurance 11 with tough skin. You're just like, I can't. Well, you could have your entire gang hitting him and you're not going to take him down. This guy is the toughest guy in the game. He's tougher than Grundy. He's tougher than Killer Croc. He's tougher. No one's even close to him, in my opinion.
The guy with the tube, I reckon.
Yeah, tube guy, yeah. He's also large, so you can't even just take him down and just hope that you get him down that way. You actually have to have another large guy fighting him to do this sort of thing. So,
What he puts us onto, he's large.
Yeah, he's just crazy large. He's immortal, so he doesn't ever become a casualty. He becomes a KO'd guy.
Yeah, it's the same as Raish has got this as well, hasn't he? Yeah.
You know what? I think I said it in the League of Shadows. Like, I've always found I like the immortal idea, and it does make him supernatural. Oh, he's got a supernatural trait as well now, whatever that means. I don't know what it means. I've never found it, but I found that immortal should be kind of something a little bit more on him. I don't know what it needs, but immortal it's very, he doesn't become a casualty. It's like, what? Who cares?
It almost feels like all the effort to take him down, you get little payback for doing it, other than something that's not going around beating you.
He is scientific, so you get +1.
Okay.
And the scientific on this guy, unlike Ivy, the scientific doesn't actually really boost him. Like the special is kind of like an afterthought with him. You know,
Yeah.
you're just like, I've got too many tokens. What do they do with them?
Yeah.
In fact, this guy's tokens are so well. You can use them so well. You know, you know you want to do a run. You're going to have 4 in attack every single turn, and you can pretty much. You don't even need to bother defending because people can't hurt you. You know, defense 3 is even pretty good. He's got affinity to Batman as well, so he can become a free agent, which. I mean, it's good, but at the same time, I feel it's a bit like, does Batman need more options in there? He's already got Bane as a free agent, so it's a bit crossbreeding into Batman territory over and over again.
And he can take plans. He's got elite boss plans.
Elite boss plans is a great one as well because it means that he could actually be the leader, the sub leader. You know.
Yeah. You know, if that floats your boat and you want loads of plants, including Swamp Thing, you can do that.
I don't know how he'd use them, to be honest. I don't know how, because, you know, that Ivy version that can teleport.
There's a need for that. And
there's a need. He doesn't really need the plants to do that for him.
The best thing for me then would feel, and we'll come on to this with the plants, is that it allows you to get them 1 or 2 plants that can contest the objective, that can pop up at the right moment. You can have that sniper plant if that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's the only need that I see.
Yeah.
Happy to be told otherwise.
So other abilities, he's got vulnerability to fire.
Yeah.
So
he does not like Firefly.
The fire tokens, that 1 token, he doesn't get 1. He gets 2 tokens. Although you know what, he can pat out fire just as well. So he's not, you know, the fire rule is changed apparently again. As far as I can see, it's you spend a token at any time, you can get rid of a fire token. So as long as you're aware that you need a token left for him, and someone's got fire, then you're safe.
Yeah.
You know, just don't get caught with your pants down. He's got roots, which is 2 special.
That's basically target model within line of sight, and within 20 centimeters of this character, the target must pass an agility roll or become pinned down until the end of the turn.
Absolutely brilliant. Do you know what I really like about this? It's not an attack, it's a special attack. So you can actually use this. You can use this and you can use your spikes. I'm going to shoot that guy with spikes and I'm going to roots that person.
Yeah.
So you can actually pick your targets with spikes. Oh, that guy's got a low defense, I'll hit him. He's got a low willpower, I'll hit him. You know, so you can actually you can choose your targets. You can you multiply it on people like that. And when you use the roots on someone, you pull them down. That makes you get that much closer to them. So the turn after, then you can actually go and hit them.
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to go for anyway. But you know, and then no one actually can stand up to this guy either.
Or someone's not going to be charging you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or just putting people out of the game is a massive thing for. Typically, you know, if you're looking at a squad that has 5 models, if you put one of them out, a fifth of their whole gang is out of the game. That's a really big ask right there.
And it is a gang that's about control, whereas, you know, Two-Face or another gang is more about firepower or just running around doing something. This one is actually a bit more thought to it.
Yes. Oh, I agree. So he's got natural immunities as well. He's immune to blind, poison, and steel effects. So good luck with poison ivy trying to poison him. You know.
Well, yeah.
There's nothing, you know. At the same time, they're just very light rules, aren't they? They're fluffy rules. I like it. This is the rule coming up with why you can't actually kill this guy. He's got regeneration. So even after all your effort, you've been shooting the hell out of him. You've actually just gone for him. God, you need to get him, you need to hit him. All he needs to do is, you know what, I won't bother doing the roots. I'll spend 1, you can only use regeneration once a turn, but I'll spend 1 special and get the life back. All that effort to try and hurt him is no good. You know, he's going to have it back. He still has tough skin. You can't remove all this. He's just too tough.
But that's probably where having 4 special comes into it. That you've got 1 and a movement for a run, because you might want to do that a turn. Yeah, you tend to. You've got 2 in for roots. That's 3. Then you've got the 1 for regenerate.
Yeah.
So you could be doing that every turn, and you don't have to even think about it. You're just going to be continuously doing that.
Well, actually, the thing that you don't do it Swampy then is I don't need defense. I'll just let myself get shot. You know? Because as long as he can just be super aggressive and not care about the repercussions. You know.
Yeah, 4 into attack. You're sorted.
Absolutely, just go wild. He hates pollution. He can't go in the sewers. Gotham sewers are polluted, aren't they?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Fluffy rule. I guess I like it. Although it's a light rule, isn't it?
Can't remember the last time I really used a sewer.
It's a disappear for a turn. That's a bit hard. Do you know what would be a good rule I'd like to see implemented? Even in the scenario, you can have multiple people in the sewers, and you can start in the sewer. You can turn up and turn 2. You can get up. I don't know. Stuff
Kill
like
a croc.
Okay, not other people.
Yeah. Maybe even fighting in the sewers.
Maybe. Oh yeah, on the board. Okay. And then his last thing. This is massive. This is an absolute massive, and this is what you're actually doing. I find that you're kind of all threatening people with this. It's the green travel. The 2 move, 2 special, teleport yourself 40 centimeters. What's nice about this is you can actually spend your move as well. So you can. I'm going to move myself 12 and then put the 40 down. So you can effectively go 52 centimeters. This board is 90 centimeters. You can travel over half the board and be anywhere on it. This guy can go anywhere and he can attack anyone at any time. That threat is massive. It's a 1 use only though. So once you use it, that's your trick over.
Can you go 40 upwards? Using green travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Big, you know. How's he going?
Yeah,
What's happening here?
I'm just thinking to all them guys that have got the machine guns that have used a grappling hook that shoot down on my crew.
You can do that.
Yeah,
but then
take 'em out.
his problem is the 1 use only. So he gets up here, he's up here.
He's not coming back down.
Then they grappling hook across. And then he's up there going, I can't get down now.
Well, at least he can wave at them.
You can. But yeah, so you have to be careful where you use it.
Or use his spikes.
So Swamp Thing, I'm a massive, massive, massive fan. I just think he is the greatest guy ever. He punches and he doesn't die. Nothing can kill him.
For me, I like him. I'd like to use him more. I've got a certain way that I like to play an IV, and I'm kind of set in my ways. I want to play him though. I want to get used to him more than I have already.
If you do it, he probably doesn't work best with the IV you like to use because he's 150 rep, and you're kind of using a lot of your points on the plants and doing different things. So yeah, it doesn't always work that.
Yeah, but as I said earlier on, it's giving you the ability to play this specific crew in multiple different ways.
Okay, well, let's talk about the plants that they have.
Consider the fate of Chlorogene a warning, Gotham. Mother Nature just got herself some muscle.
So first up is the plant. Very well named. This plant has strength 5, movement 0, attack 3, defense 2, endurance 4, special 3, and a willpower of 4. These guys, and all of these guys that we're about to talk about, also have this additional rule that at the beginning of the game, you place 2 markers down per plant that you've taken. At any other turn other than the first, they can effectively come up and be placed next to that marker, and then they stay there for the rest of the game, hence the movement 0. The only downside is that if they get KO'd or pushed, they die instantly. So, that being said, with the stats as well to them, you might not think much of these guys.
No, well, this is looking at plant first. These guys all actually vary quite a lot, and it's good how they've done them because this guy is only reputation 10. Spoiler. So yeah, he's got 4 willpower, 4 endurance, 2 defense, 3. You know, it looks very. This is pitifully low. This is Tube Man, isn't it? Really. So this guy just 1 root attack with handy, doing stun damage.
To reroll to hit, though, it's quite nice to have that there. Then you've got to get past the strength 5 dice as well. you with your full willpower, you're probably going to put in 2 attacks, 2 in defense, or 3 attacks, 1 in defense. That's how you're going to play it, really.
Yeah. So the thing that these guys are really good at is you can put them on obstacles.
Yeah.
So this is their absolute strength. They can test from a distance.
10 centimeter radius on them. Yeah.
10 centimeters. So they can contest your objective. They can't actually claim their own, but they can contest yours. So they're making sure that your opponent doesn't have any. And that defense 2 nearly feels like defense 3 because they can sit on top of boxes, on top of things, and people are typically going to be attacking upwards at them.
Yeah.
And so they are defense 3 effectively.
Yeah.
So for 10 points, it's pretty cheap for a contester. And this is, when someone thinks they're getting 3 points for that ammo crate and you didn't get it because, you put that surprise plant in there. And then so your opponent's actually forced to go and deal with it as well.
Yeah, that plant coming out of the top of the car is always very fluffy and always very effective as well.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Now, as well as this, and all these plants can take them, you can take claws on each plant, which gives you the reroll to hit.
That gives handy.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, the claws.
Claws rule? Is that just claws rule?
Yeah, it's just claws. That's
So that's
blood
just
stun,
blood
isn't
stun,
it? Yeah, sorry, got it wrong there. The other one that you can take is a Titan dose, which then it makes you for one turn, like the turn that they pop up, willpower 5, it increases your stats. This guy can have 4 attacks potentially, and then he's got blood stun with handy. They do pack a punch there because that makes them strength 4 as well.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. Suddenly they weren't as weedy as. Hey, pun intended.
Nee.
They weren't as rubbish as they were just a minute ago. So.
Yeah.
So suddenly your opponent trying to deal with it has to deal with it a little harder.
Yeah. So that's the plant. Now on to the creeper plant. The creeper plant, strength 4, so a little bit better. Movement 0, as expected. Attack 3, defense 3, endurance 5, special 3, and willpower 5.
So yeah, you can see he's kind of bumped up in all the stats by 1.
Yeah.
Well, not all, but strength, willpower, defense, and endurance all up by 1. This comes at the cost of 6 points.
Extra on top, so it's 16 points.
So 16 reputation, which you know what? That just seems really worth it.
Yeah. So again, they've got a creeper attack, which is damage, stun, and it also handy as well. So it's exactly the same. But then they've also got crit, poison, paralysis on this. So it gives you the odd option that you will get that. But for me, these guys, where they come up is that you give these guys the Titan dose and claws.
Claws and Titan,
Yeah.
both together. Suddenly, this guy, he's a 4 attack, he's 6 willpower, he's hitting really hard, he's got the potential to crit paralyze. He's might as well be defense 4 because he's sitting on top of a car.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh my god, I thought I had a really rubbish plant there, but no, it's not. It's actually something that you really need to deal with.
And strength 3 as well.
Oh, it's strength 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's actually doing damage and he's doing blood stun. That is just, that's just horrendous. So I can really see the strength in them. For the extra 6 points, it really feels worth it if you can actually spare that.
Yeah. For me, I take the creepers over the standard plant. And being that the crew can have 2 claws and 2 Titan doses, 2 of these guys get it. After that, then if I've got 10 points spare,
Cool. Plant can get it. He's a good contester. He still does his job. He's still, he's still annoying.
Yeah. Finally, the spore plants. This is the shooter plants. So strength 5 plus, movement 0 as always, attack 3, defense 2, endurance 4, special 3, and a willpower 4.
Oh, so he's dropped stats since the last guy.
Yeah.
Why is that, Pete?
Basically, this guy has got a spore sheath which can do 2 damage, rate of fire 2, ammo 2, and mechanic.
So he's always wounding on a 3. One of the things that Pete didn't mention is in the equipment list you can get the night vision goggles.
Yeah.
Built for him. So this guy, you're putting him on top of the building and he is just shooting the entire board as much as he can. Now, there is a big downfall. He does stun damage and he's only got 2 ammo. And I think that's the big downfall. The ammo 2 just feels... The stun damage you can understand. It's that... This, ammo 2 and then he's useless, You've got a plant on top of a building that can never move again.
Yeah. This guy, you can put him up there, or you could get him down contesting something to give him the extra use.
If you do that, then he's in trouble if someone comes within 5 centimetres.
I've had this guy with me KO standard Bane. Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't want to try that too many times because it's not always going to come back.
No.
Yeah. So he's. I mean, I think he's okay, but he's 20 points and 150 rep.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worth it.
I take one of these at most. I don't take any more than that. It's something to give me a bit of firepower from the rooftop if I need that. Not always there, but it's got its purpose.
He certainly does. I mean, the infinite range is definitely its benefit. It's probably a better finisher than anything. It's knowing when to use them that's actually the trick. If you just blow your load too soon and just go up straight away, turn 1, I'm shooting at something. This person's going to recover. And then you've got a plant that's done nothing. But if you did it in turn 5, you've actually put them up, you've downed the leader, and then somebody else comes along, and it's actually a success story.
Yeah.
So they're a real timing issue. In fact, all the plants are a timing issue.
They are, yeah. And the great thing about taking multiple of them is it gives you multiple of these tokens seed tokens that you put on the board at the start of the game. So you can put one up on top of the building. Doesn't mean that the spore plant has to come up there. They can come up next to the objective because that's where the threat is on that particular turn that you bring it up. And it keeps your opponent guessing.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
They know you got 2 bullets though.
Yeah.
So once that's gone, you can buy the extra ammo, I guess. So you've got 3.
For something that's going to die, I wouldn't invest anything more in it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's Poison Ivy's unique henchmen for now. We have a special segment now where we're going to talk about
Sidekicks.
No. The Sirens.
The Sirens.
Right.
Sidekick, Sirens.
Sirens.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump into the Sirens, the free agents, okay?
Nice work, Butterfingers. Why didn't you just turn on the bat signal while you were at it?
I wasn't trying to get caught.
Could have fooled me. Hey, aren't you that plant lady, Poison Oakie?
Ivy, Poison Ivy.
Sorry. Harley Quinn, pleased to meet ya.
So the way that I play Ivy crew the most is via the Sirens. So that is where you've got either one of the Poison Ivies, either comic book or the Arkham one.
You can see those if you rewind the video about 20 minutes.
Or with Selena Kyle or Harley Quinn, and that's classic Harley Quinn. So Selena Kyle we'll move on to now. Okay, so Selena Kyle, she's strength 5, movement 4, attack 3, defense 5, endurance 5, special 3, and willpower 6.
Yeah, she's quite a defensive character in fairness, I think. She's got defense 5 is just very defensive, and attack 3 is obviously kind of naff, especially with the strength.
Yeah.
You don't really seeing her doing that much damage.
Yeah, there's a certain way that people, and even I played her for a long time, which I'll talk about at the end, and it just seems as if too many people play her defensively. Which
I agree. I think that people seem to think, okay, we'll go on to her traits now actually, because she has primary target loot.
That's the reason why people take her.
Yeah, you take her because then she gets the loot and she's worth 2 points every turn instead of the 1. She takes that. She's an acrobat, so she can dodge bullets. She can jump up for free. She got all this acrobat rules, and she got great movement in there. So she can actually pick up that loot and run with it.
Yeah, for one MC for picking up the loot. Isn't
for
it?
one MC and then one further every turn. But then, you know, the climbing shoes as well, or claws as it should be, so she can climb up a building and stop on it midway through as long as you spend another special. So she has so many escape options. This is all defensive again, and everything's defensive about her here. So acrobat, you know, everything's nothing actually here is screaming out that she should be attacking people.
Yeah.
As soon as you start putting attack in her, she's only attack 3. So I feel that she doesn't really do it properly.
So she's got total vision, which means that she can see through corners.
She can see the whole board. Hidden characters cannot have to deploy in their normal deployment zones.
That's the other big one as well. Then she's also got Thief, which means that she can effectively nick weapons off people when she hits them. And then she's also got retractable claws.
Talk about her 2 weapons.
Yeah, so this gives her effectively a second weapon over the one that's actually listed. So the one that's listed is a whip, which is blood stun damage, and it's got reach. So that's brilliant. I take the loot, I go up to someone, I stay outside of 3 centimeters, and I just hit them. And
up to 3.
Up to 3. And I get my points for having the loot, and it's good on someone who's activated, because you don't want to go up, do that, and then
lose your 2 points. It's also good because you're forcing your opponent. Then, if they do want to attack you, they need to move those 3 centimeters and then fight you. So that's their movement over. So you've actually forced them to actually come to you to actually do that.
Yeah. The second one that she's got, as I said, is retractable claws. It also is blood stun. But the important one is that it's got sharp, which rerolls the hit, rerolls the wound. Sorry.
And why that's good? Well, if you're activating her second, so someone's already moved up to you, then that's what you're going to use. Otherwise you're using the whip. Yeah. Because you've got the thief ability applied to either of them, so you're going to that crit is going to do to either. But you know that's why not just have a sharp in there?
So with sneak attack, that's one of her other traits. She's able to stop people defending or spending defense dice if they
didn't have line of sight.
Not line of sight when she originally started her movement.
Yeah, which I still find very hard to get off.
It is, yeah.
You know, that's very much, you know, run around the corner or something.
Yeah.
You know, I can see how you could nearly get away with it with the back claw or something, but she doesn't have any of those tricks.
So she's very limited on where she can be. She hates low forces, she hates Joker, and Harvey Dent doesn't like her either.
Yes, so yeah.
There might be more.
She's a little bit limited to where she goes, but at the same time, you know what, there's enough gangs that will actually take her. I think that more gangs should hate her, to be honest. Yeah,
but for 66 rep, she is going to go out there, she's going to get the loot, and as I said, a lot of people just grab the loot and run her off into a corner of the board. I used to do that, but then I started learning how to use her, and I think you told me actually.
Play her aggressively.
Play her aggressively, and she's the last activation model of your gang.
She's a great one to walk forwards and cautiously walk forwards. If you find that there's a bit too much heat on her, she has only got endurance 5, so if there's a machine gun guy who hits her, who shouldn't hit her because she's got movement, so she can dodge it. But if there's somebody who comes up and hits her in the wrong way, just get her out of there. But you know what? She's worth it. She's got the whip. Just keep her in there as a backside character, and then she works a treat.
As soon as she's hit though, and as soon as she starts taking damage, you do then have to revert to getting her into that corner to just keep on claiming.
That's fine, as long as she's taken a few hits and she's done something. Otherwise, I feel like you paid 66 points to just walk away. Yeah. You know, if you really want to play like that, I mean, you grab the loot and then just go for another objective, try and get the other loot or something. I don't know. But you know what? She'll cane any of the rubbish
henchmen or anything like that.
Go for them. Yeah. Go for them. Try and bully them a bit. You know. It's better than having her doing nothing. Yeah. The worst thing that could happen is you could get her in a fix where she ends up losing the 2 points for the loot. But you know, you just have to think ahead of that. Yeah. Make sure that doesn't happen, and you'll be fine. Just keep her on the outskirts and keep on going in. Keep that whip going, and if they get too close, get the claws out. So she works.
Yeah. Now, finally, we're going to talk about Harley Quinn. However, not at length, because you've already talked about Harley Quinn previously.
Go and look. We got a Joker video with and she's in that. So we primarily did her. So in this segment, we'll just talk about the differences and why she would be used in this gang.
Yeah, so she's obviously got affinity to Poison Ivy, which puts her in this gang. And even though True Love Joker is not going to apply whatsoever here, the one thing that does is the Discourage. This is the one where you get to -2 willpower of an enemy character in line of sight.
Yes,
Yeah.
huge when you think about then what Ivy can do.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Ivy needs people to fail a willpower test.
Yeah, she does.
So with this in mind, her comboing up with Ivy is just absolutely brutal. Yeah, her distract as well is it's just great. Like she's a really good debuffer character just coming in to really help Ivy's kind of subpar henchmen.
Yeah.
So and even Ivy, if you're looking for Ivy to actually just survive a bit longer, she's great for just doing that.
Oh yeah. Her and her mallet just bring something to the crew that it just makes it fun.
I find her very hard. The amount of times I played her and I just cannot pin her. She's too hard. The endurance 7 is just Hear me moan in a different video. She doesn't have Chaos Agent at least, so I'm not going to moan too much.
Yeah, but for 75 rep. So how I like to play them, I like to take the 3 girls. I tend to take the Arkham Ivy over the comic Ivy, but having 3 acrobats just run at you is also very fun.
Yes.
But then I also think that Harley and Ivy are a must for the crew in my playstyle anyway. Catwoman sometimes can get the chop. Riddler would be a good choice, or Hush would be an alternative as well. That gives you a bit of extra firepower, or a bit more control. Catwoman, again, she just grabs the loot and runs off. It tends to be a lot of tactics that I see of people using her. So it doesn't make her jump out as a must character for, using what would traditionally be the Sirens. But, with Harley and Ivy, you've got a lot of fluff there between the two of them. Heck, I've even got pets named Harley and Ivy.
It's true.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah. And Quinn.
Oh yes, I've got Quinn as well,
Right. But so anything else you want to talk about? They bunch up very well. You'd think that they're actually a lot more ineffective, all being strength 5 and low endurance typically, but they're actually all pretty hard to hit.
Yeah,
they got a lot of endurance between them, and that trick where Ivy is the glue with it.
Yeah.
Ivy's the glue who's doing the damage. Harley's kind of doing a lot of the mischief about it.
Yeah.
And Catwoman's gaining points and mopping up in a way.
Yeah.
So if you got the 3, if you have the balance right, they can really waltz through a lot of gangs.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't see how it would work as a traditional gang because it is not a Joker gang, it's not a Penguin gang, but I've fallen in love with this gang now, and it's the one gang that I just love playing again and again.
Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons of the Ivy gang.
Since you like flowers so much,
Oh, Puddin', no!
you can have mine.
Oh, Red!
It doesn't work on me.
The pros and cons of the gang is that you can have very thematic, very much loved gang that was featured in a lot of comics recently up until the New 52 that can really play very differently in the way that each one of the girls is on the board.
I agree. I think that this is the first gang that came out that was extremely different. When you look at Two-Face and Black Mask, there's very few differences. These two gangs just walk forward and get shoot each other, and they've got henchmen. This gang has to stay put. it's got like plants. The plants actually just add this whole new flavour to it.
Yeah.
Of course, you could take Ivy and just say Blackgate Prisoners, which is probably a boring way to play it, you know. But at the same time, it's great that the options are all there. I think that Swamp Thing, before Swamp Thing, I wasn't really interested in it, and when he came along, it just got me like imagining, oh, you could do this, and this is what you could do. You know, the Ivy list is possible.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, I just really like it. I'm feeling like there's a lot of things you could do with it.
Yeah.
You know, it is Swamp Thing gang for me.
The plants for me are the hidden gem of this. Everyone thinks that they're quite cheap, they're ineffective, they can't move, they follow to a breeze. But as I said, they've KO'd Bane, they've done so much for me, and they allow the characters to move around as well. They just add the threat where it isn't
capturing
needed.
those loots and, you know, retaining that your opponent isn't getting points to them and Ivy's off like with your loot.
Yeah.
That's great. You know,
Yeah.
you got the points. So, you know, there is there's a clear strategy here. Whether it works every game, and you know, it really has to differ from who your opponent is.
Yeah.
And that's actually, to me, that makes it a pretty good gang. That, you know, that they have to really play a different way. Their style is changing dramatically as well, depending if you take plants or not, and depending on which Ivy you take. Like, so that really changes up the whole thing a lot more than perhaps any other gang.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Asterisks. But yeah, it's a great fun gang, and I'd say that the cons is there isn't actually enough leaders. There's not enough sidekicks. And you know, we just need some more options, I suppose, in terms of plants. Even though they have so many options, it feels like there's so many options are the same as every other gangs. So many options.
I would have liked to have seen that you could have taken the different Harleys. One thing I actually do is I've actually got the Arkham Knight Harley that I substitute out for when I'm running Arkham Knight Ivy.
Lovely model. Well, I haven't played Arkham Knight, so I don't know. Does she join up with her?
No, that they can't. It's only the classic Harley that
Just
can
a
be
classic.
run with Ivy.
No, fair enough. Yeah, but I don't know. There's pros and cons. It's a bit of a specialist gang, I think. I certainly wouldn't recommend this to a new player. To a new player to war games or whatever, I would just stay well away from it. It's got a lot of tricks that might wreck your brain. There's a lot of activations that you have to do this, and then your opponent has to figure out when to do this. But they're good fun. Once you have your head around Batman, they're a great gang, and there's a lot of depth.
Funny enough, wasn't this my first gang in Batman?
Yeah, but you played plenty of Malifaux. And
It is geared towards the more Malifaux.
Asterix and Wargaming.
Yeah, other wargaming.
Yeah. All right.
Should we talk about what we would like to see in the future potentially?
I'd love to.
Dr. Isley? Pamela? You look great. Especially for a dead woman.
Hello, Jason. I think I've had a change of heart.
More leaders. We want to see more leaders, Pete.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of everything for this crew, you know.
You know what? I'll tell you what they don't need. They don't need another Swamp Thing. Not that they are thinking of it, but I actually really like the way Swamp Thing's written, and I don't see why. I think that I'd like to see an older version of Poison Ivy. You know, a very different one.
The way that I can see it going with Arkham Knight releases at the moment is, I would have liked to have seen a Arkham Asylum Ivy, or where she's actually controlling the bigger plant.
Oh,
I can see that potentially happening with the new Legends.
So are you saying Ivy in a big...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
the way that
big plant?
Yeah, well, that's the most obvious thing that's probably going to come. That
Audrey too?
Yeah.
I hope I hope it happens.
Yeah. I want to see. I want to see this crew expanded on. I'm at the moment, at the time of we're filming, we're seeing Two-Face getting a bit of love, who hasn't seen it for a while. We're seeing some of the newer crews. We're seeing from the new games. We're seeing some other crews that haven't had crews yet. So there's potential for things to be added to this crew, as we said, other points.
Certainly, I think that I can see the Blister 2, Plants 2 and Plants 3, make them more interesting. You could have the more elite ones, or they could get very creative with the rules for them, because this is nature you're talking about.
Yeah.
So they've done the bog standard ones. Great. Like, I like how kind of mundane they are in the rules, but I'd like to see, what the elite plants are going to be. The really elite ones, the really deadly poisonous ones.
30 points plus ones, yeah?
Yeah, I want to see what they do with them. Maybe bigger ranges, or if they've got that green travel that he has, maybe they have that as well.
Yeah.
Or, so if you think,
that'd be cool,
you think of all these kind of wacky rules they could really start introducing into it, like how just horror film kind of inspired.
Yeah.
This could be really exciting, where they could go with it. Oh, do you know what they could do? They could do the big sidekick guy can actually move them. His ability is he pushes them around. Something like that, or maybe the ivy plant they could talk about.
Yeah.
So these are the sort of ideas. I don't know much about the fluff of who else she could really have as other alternative sidekicks, apart from made up things, but
Well, Riddler's been there with her in the past, and with the girls. Oracle possibly, I think, has been there.
Oracle, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe with Birds of Prey you might see her. Then, yeah, I would have liked to have seen alternative Harleys, as I've said, but then an alternative Catwoman, because Catwoman just does seem that one trick pony.
Could Catwoman come in as a sidekick? Or?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because they buddy up quite a lot.
Yeah.
And they proper buddy up. They have their fallouts, but they're more friendly than anything really. Oh, that'd be great. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that then. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the blackout midway through.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bit bizarre. Anyway, from me, from Pete, see you later. But it's not like they're ginger after all, anyway. Pete, I was joking about the ginger.